this last 2 hours. That's a big, the bigger the circle is, the bigger magnitude of the earthquake. So this,
okay, so there's the 7.
this is the summit. So this is 2 weeks, 2 days. You see how they moved, the earthquake moved from here to here? That's because whatever was holding the system in place up here broke free, and now the lava traveled into the rift zone here. So it's causing all these earthquakes. So now they know it's gonna break out, but they don't know where and they don't know when.
So are the
So
rift
it broke out here in Leilani Estates.
Are the rift zones essentially like a fault line then? Or are they more like...
No, it's the whole area of the island. This whole area is the rift zone. A fault line is actually, you can see the fault. Like Helena Poly there's a fault there. On the highway, there's a fault. It says they're going over the fault. So when this was happening, that just kept getting bigger and bigger, and they would have to dump tons of concrete in the hole. They would just have cement trucks lined up to pump concrete in there, and then it would settle and shake again, and the hole would open back up because what they put in would fall. So they'd have to put more. And so this eruption began May 3rd, 2018. This is the 16th. This is the 25th.
Okay.
And then this is June 9th. And it ended in September, but you can see this was the original shoreline. This was a lake it completely ate. And it just sort of takes the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
This is vacation land where all the tide pools are and everything. So the question was about earthquakes. Yeah, we have them all the time. Probably not like this when this was happening, but when this was happening, the whole island was shaking all the time.
Yeah.
And then it was really nuts because then one day we had a really, they were coming. It's just like, it's no wonder they would call Pele a woman, because it's just like having contractions where the earthquakes get closer and closer and closer and closer together. And then you have a really, really big one, and that's the lava coming up. So we don't see the lava here as destructive so much as growing the land. Yeah, and giving birth to the land on this space. But eventually, so this seamount, we're on top of the plume of lava, right? So we're here, and the plume stretches all the way underneath to Maui, and this plume is so strong that it's pulling the plate northwest.
Wow.
So Midway Atoll with if you see the white bird, the Kilauea bird, that bird's like, they have a 50-million-year-old fossil out here of that bird, and that seabird nests over here. So if you look at this, it'll show you. See, Niihau was here 5.6 million years ago, Oahu 3.4, and then Loihi, the next seamount, will be 10 to 100,000 years will break the surface. This volcano, they predict, will grow like another 9,000 feet if the system stays the way it is. So as tall as the summit of the island. So Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa are over 13,000 feet. So we're here at almost 4,075 up there. So terrible at math, but they predict they'll be close. So yeah, so as the plume pulls the plate northwest, it subducts underneath the Aleutian Trench, and it rifts all around the edges. So that's the Ring of Fire, and then Hawaii stays in one place. So there's inside the core of the, I mean, they think, and no one really knows, but inside the core they think there's nickel and iron, and the outside is liquid, so it spins, and that causes convection between the mantle and the core. So lava heats up, or magma heats up and pressurizes the system, and then it follows the path of least resistance and fills in the magma chambers underneath each caldera. And as you go further into the ground, pressure increases. And I mean, no one's really down there, so it's just theory. But as the pressure increases, it erupts, and then that lets off the pressure, and then pressure increases again. So as it comes up here to the summit, it erupts, and then it usually moves to a flank region. So that's what happens to Mauna Loa when it erupted in December. It started at the top at Mokuweoweo, and it moved to the northeast rift zone. So, but there's also a good video inside the bookstore that talks about it. So this is a shield volcano. It's like if you drive down Chain of Craters Road and you see all the different craters, those are all different eruptions. So you can see, once you start to see the eruption cycles like the ones we had in 2018, how a shield volcano forms, right? And it's really interesting. Yep. I noticed I was being filmed. That always makes me nervous.
I didn't know what to say next.
And I'm done talking. I'm an anthropologist. So I don't. This isn't my thing. I'm an anthropologist. I just work here.
Very nice. You're waiting for another 50 million years.
Yeah, exactly.